we assume things are nailed on, but you know what? Everyone assumed La La Land was nailed on for Best Picture.
True.
And look at what happened there.
Oscar time. It is pub talk.
I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is going to storm the Oscars.
Parasite's one of those films that blew me away.
Parasite will just edge it. I think it's going to be close.
Parasite.
There is now less than 1 week to go before the 96th Annual Academy Awards ceremony takes place. So for those of you who aren't all that familiar with some of the titles vying for Hollywood's biggest accolades this year, I'm here to bring you a recap of those films in the running for the film industry's most coveted of prizes, the Oscars. The sprawling examination of the dawn of the atomic age that is Oppenheimer kicks off the race for the 2024 Oscars, having earned an enormous 13 nominations, including one for Best Picture. This epic biographical thriller, written and directed by Christopher Nolan, stars Cillian Murphy as J. Robert Oppenheimer, the American theoretical physicist who was credited as being the father of the atomic bomb, having overseen the Manhattan Project in World War II. Nolan scores double nominations for both writing and directing, while Murphy lands a nomination for actor in a leading role. Starring opposite Murphy is Emily Blunt, and she likewise scores an acting Oscar nomination in the actress in a leading role category, while Robert Downey Jr. rounds out a stellar ensemble cast with a nod in the actor in a supporting role category. Other nominations for Oppenheimer come for cinematography, film editing, sound, production design, costume design, makeup and hairstyling, and best original score. Following close behind Oppenheimer with an impressive 11 nominations, Poor Things is the next Best Picture contender in this year's race. Written by Tony McNamara and directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, the film is based on the 1992 novel by Alistair Gray. It stars Emma Stone as Bella Baxter, a young woman in Victorian London who comes to life through a brain transplant and embarks on an odyssey of self-discovery. Poor Things premiered at the 80th Venice International Film Festival in September 2023, where it won the Golden Lion, and McNamara and Lanthimos each earn Oscar nominations in the adapted screenplay and directing categories respectively. Emma Stone leads the cast with a nomination for actress in a leading role, while Mark Ruffalo scores a nod in the actor in a supporting role category. The film's other nominations come for cinematography, film editing, production design, costume design, makeup and hairstyling, and best original score. Another Best Picture contender which hit double figures in nominations this year is Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, an American epic western crime drama based on the 2017 non-fiction book by David Gran. Set in 1920s Oklahoma, the film focuses on a series of murders of the Osage members and their relations, after oil was discovered on tribal land, with a corrupt local political boss seeking to steal their wealth. Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Lily Gladstone lead an ensemble cast, with Gladstone making history at this year's Oscars by becoming the first ever Native American acting nominee in the actress in a leading role category, while De Niro lands a nomination for actor in a supporting role. Scorsese becomes the most nominated living director to date with an Oscar nomination for Best Director, taking his tally to 10. This is the 11th and unfortunately the final time Scorsese will collaborate with composer Robbie Robertson, who sadly passed away 2 months before the film's release, but Robertson scores another of the film's nominations with a posthumous nod for Best Original Score. The film's other nominations are for cinematography, film editing, production design, costume design, and Best Original Song. The biggest box office hit of 2023 was Barbie, a fantasy comedy written by Noah Baumbach and directed by Greta Gerwig, which earns a total of 8 Oscar nominations despite seeing 2 of the biggest snubs in this year's awards categories. Gerwig controversially misses out on a directing nomination this year, although Baumbach is nominated in the adapted screenplay category. The film stars Margot Robbie as the title character and Ryan Gosling as Ken, and follows them on a journey of self-discovery through both Barbie Land and the real world following an existential crisis. It is also a commentary regarding patriarchy and the effects of feminism, and Gosling's performance lands him a nomination in the actor in a supporting role category, alongside America Ferrera, who scores a nomination in the actress in a supporting role category. Margot Robbie controversially misses out on a leading actress nomination, although both Robbie and Gerwig are nominated as producers in the Best Picture category. The film's remaining 4 nominations are for production design, costume design, and 2 nominations in the Best Original Song category, meaning the film could only win a maximum of 7 awards if it were to be successful in all categories. With 7 total nominations, our next Best Picture contender for this year is Bradley Cooper's Maestro, a biographical romantic drama that centres on the relationship between American composer Leonard Bernstein and his wife Felicia Montealegre. Produced by Bradley Cooper alongside Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg, the film was co-written by Bradley Cooper and Josh Singer, with the former also handling directing duties. The duo were nominated for their writing in the Best Original Screenplay category, and while Cooper misses out in the race for Best Director, he did manage to direct himself into a nomination for Actor in a Leading Role for his portrayal of Leonard Bernstein, while actress Carey Mulligan, who is his on-screen wife, also lands a nomination in the Actress in a Leading Role category. The film also scores nominations for cinematography, sound, and makeup and hairstyling. There are 4 pictures this year that have landed a total of 5 nominations apiece, and all of them are included in the Best Picture race. They are American Fiction, The Holdovers, Anatomy of a Fall, and The Zone of Interest. American Fiction is an American comedy drama written and directed by Cord Jefferson in his feature directorial debut. The plot centres around a highly intelligent African-American novelist who is fed up with the establishment profiting from black entertainment, and so he uses a pen name to write a book that propels him into the heart of the hypocrisy and madness he claims to disdain. Jefferson scores one of the film's nominations in the Adapted Screenplay category, while the film's lead, Jeffrey Wright, is nominated for Actor in a Leading Role. His co-star Sterling K. Brown gets a nod in the Actor in a Supporting Role category, while the picture's final nomination comes for Best Original Score. The Holdovers is another American comedy drama, written by David Hemmingson and directed by Alexander Payne. Hemmingson scores an Oscar nomination in the Best Original Screenplay category for this beautifully bittersweet journey of reflection and facing troubled pasts, a story that USA Today compared with Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life. The film stars Paul Giamatti, who plays a strict history teacher at a New England boarding school, who is forced to remain on campus over the holidays with a grieving cook while chaperoning a handful of students with nowhere to go on Christmas break. Giamatti scores a nomination for Actor in a Leading Role, while Divine Joy Randolph, who plays the cook, lands a nod in the Actress in a Supporting Role category. The film's final nomination comes for achievement in film editing. Anatomy of a Fall is a French legal drama film directed by Justine Triet from a screenplay she co-wrote with Arthur Harari. It stars Sandra Hüller as a writer trying to prove her innocence in her husband's death. The film premiered at the 76th Cannes Film Festival in May 2023, where it went on to win the Palme d'Or. Hüller lands an Oscar nomination for her Actress in a Leading Role performance, while Justine Triet gets 2 nominations, the first as the only female director nominated in this year's Best Director category, and the other alongside co-writer Arthur Harari for Best Original Screenplay. The film's 5th and final nomination comes for achievement in film editing. The Zone of Interest is a historical drama written and directed by Jonathan Glazer, loosely based on the 2014 novel by Martin Amis. It was a co-production between the United Kingdom and Poland, featuring a largely German cast. Like Anatomy of a Fall, this film also stars Sandra Hüller, this time alongside Christian Friedel, who plays the German Nazi commandant Rudolf Höss. Hüller plays his wife Hedwig, and the film focuses on the pair as they strive to build a dream life for their family in a home right next door to the Auschwitz concentration camp during World War II. Similar to Anatomy of a Fall, The Zone of Interest also premiered at the 76th Cannes Film Festival in May, where it won the Grand Prix, the second most prestigious prize bestowed by the jury behind the Palme d'Or. As well as being nominated for Best Picture, The Zone of Interest is nominated in the Best International Feature Film category, while Jonathan Glazer gets 2 Oscar nominations for Best Adapted Screenplay and Achievement in Directing. The film's final nomination is for Achievement in Sound. The final Best Picture contender for this year's Oscars is Past Lives, a romantic drama written and directed by Celine Song in her feature directorial debut. The film follows 2 childhood friends over the course of 24 years, while they contemplate the nature of their relationship as they grow apart, living different lives. The film is semi-autobiographical and is inspired by real events from Song's life. With the characters originating from South Korea, Past Lives becomes the 3rd of this year's Best Picture nominees, alongside Anatomy of a Fall and The Zone of Interest, to be a film not in the English language. The film scores 2 Oscar nominations this year, the aforementioned Best Picture nod, and Celine Song is also nominated for Best Original Screenplay. Going one better than past lives with 3 Oscar nominations this year is Ridley Scott's epic historical drama, Napoleon. Starring Joaquin Phoenix as Napoleon Bonaparte and Vanessa Kirby as his wife Josephine, the film primarily depicts Napoleon's rise to power as well as the couple's relationship. The film is nominated for achievements in production design, costume design, and visual effects. 2 films competing with Napoleon in the visual effects category are the epic spy action film Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 and the sci-fi action film The Creator, which both land 2 Oscar nominations and compete in the same categories for each one. Set in 2070, The Creator is a futuristic story set 15 years after artificial intelligence sets off a nuclear detonation in Los Angeles, sparking a war between humans and AI. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is the sequel to Mission Impossible Fallout, and is the 7th installment of the Mission Impossible series. Like The Creator, the film follows Ethan Hunt, played by Tom Cruise, and his Impossible Mission Force as they face off against the Entity, a powerful rogue AI. As well as both films being nominated for visual effects, they both also land a nomination for achievement in sound. Another film with 2 Oscar nominations is the Spanish entry into the Best International Feature Film category, Society of the Snow, a survival drama based on Pablo Vierchi's 2009 book of the same name. The film details a Uruguayan rugby team's crash aboard Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 into the Andes Mountains in October 1972, a harrowing account of the true events that unfolded as told by those that survived the 72-day ordeal stranded in the snowy mountains. As well as the nomination for Best International Feature, the film lands a 2nd nomination for achievement in makeup and hairstyling. The final film to have landed more than a solitary nomination at this year's Oscars is the Netflix biographical sports drama Nyad, a film about swimmer Diana Nyad's multiple attempts to swim the 110 miles of ocean from Cuba to Florida. It stars Annette Bening as Nyad, with Jodie Foster and Rhys Ifans in supporting roles. Bening scores a nomination in the Actress in a Leading Role category, while Jodie Foster's portrayal as Nyad's best friend Bonnie Stoll sees her nominated in the Actress in a Supporting Role category, almost 50 years after her first Oscar nomination. Up against Foster in this year's Actress in a Supporting Role category is Danielle Brooks, who scores the only nomination for The Colour Purple, an American coming-of-age musical period drama based on the stage musical and novel by the same name. This is the 2nd film adaptation of the Alice Walker novel, following the 1985 film directed by Steven Spielberg and produced by Spielberg and Quincy Jones. Spielberg and Jones return as producers for the 2023 film, which, alongside supporting actress nominee Brooks, stars Taraji P. Henson, Halle Bailey, and Colman Domingo. Colman Domingo also stars in another of this year's films with a single Oscar nomination, and that is the biographical drama Rustin, based on the life of the charismatic gay civil rights activist Bayard Rustin, who helped Martin Luther King and others organise the 1963 March on Washington. Alongside an ensemble that includes Chris Rock, Divine Joy Randolph, and Jeffrey Wright, Domingo scores this film's only Oscar nomination for actor in a leading role. Between the Best Picture nominees, which have scooped multiple nominations, those that have only scored a couple, and the remaining pictures not yet discussed in categories including the documentaries and shorts, there are a total of 53 pictures with nominations this year. 17 of them have just been discussed here, with the remaining 35 pictures each also landing just a solitary nomination. But that is not to play down their significance, because every category and every nominee is equally important, having earned that nomination by achieving excellence in their respective fields. But if I were to extend this video and list the other 35 pictures and the awards that they are each nominated for, the awards ceremony would almost certainly have come and gone by the time I was done. However, having covered all of those films nominated in the categories that are deemed as the major awards, including the Best Picture nominees, the Best Director nominees, and the Acting nominees, you should by now have a better idea of the standout achievers from the past year of film. A year in which 2 of the Best Picture contenders duly opened the box office to become the cultural phenomenon that was Barbenheimer, while taking over $2 billion globally between them. That's quite an impressive feat at a time when movie theatres are still struggling to rebound from the pandemic, and in a year where most film productions were halted and many major releases were delayed by the simultaneous strikes by SAG-AFTRA and the Writers Guild of America. After such an eventful year, this year's history-making Oscars promises to be an interesting one. The 96th Academy Awards is on Sunday, March 10th, and will be held at the Dolby Theatre in Hollywood. Which pictures and performances have you enjoyed the most during this awards season? And which of the nominees will you be rooting for? Don't forget to leave a comment down below to tell us which you've enjoyed the most, and if you're new here and you like what you see, please click the like button and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you want to be notified when future content drops. Join us on Pub Talk over on RobFuz's channel on Friday, March the 8th, as we give our Oscars predictions and you can play along too. Pub Talk will then be live again right here on this channel on Sunday, March the 10th, as we discuss the red carpet live, and then again the following night, Monday, March the 11th, as we hold our Oscars recap and results show. Pub Talk is co-hosted between this channel and RobFuz's channel, and you can find the links to RobFuz and our friends in the description down below.